Hello and welcome to my last Casualty review for A History of Violence. Next week I'm going to have quite a lot on my hands. This week was officially Charlie's last episode, so this is a big deal in the world of Casualty and something that we all really need to consider while we review this episode. Of course, there was so much to take in from last episode alone, so this episode was sure to present its challenges. And of course, the last episode ended with Charlie stabbing, and obviously this episode just picks off right where that left off. And it's a good job. I like the way this episode starts, because it starts with us going through everything that's happened in the past few episodes and everything that's happened in the last episode as well. So we've not just had like that being rushed, so that was good. And it was this week was the first time in a long time where Casualty has not been released direct to BBC iPlayer on a Saturday morning, and I think that was a really good idea because it really did stop the spoilers of this episode. The pictures of Charlie from when he was first in Casualty were really good to see, and pictures of Duffy were great to see as well. This episode is chock full of things that mean so much to so many people who watch Casualty, and obviously with this being Charlie's final episode, I think we really had to hit the nail on the head and just get it done. The muffled sound was great, and I think that really does just... This is like right when he's being sent through the hospital. I think that... Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I think that does just make us understand what it feels like for people going through a hospital. I thought that was great. The old hospital and the uniform was great to see. And I'm just really gonna say good work to the costume designers and the set designers, because you've done a brilliant job on that. I don't know whether any of you are watching this video. I'm presuming you're not, but like, it was brilliant. Like, I don't say that a lot. It was really, really good. Stevie feeling like she can't do her job was brilliant, and it was a great continuation of her chat with Faith from the last episode and some themes from previous episodes, and I think that's really good for a show like this to have that continuation of themes. Harry's wife being alive was brilliant. I'm so glad that she survived, because it really just shows that people are capable of so much more than we think, and I think it's... I think it's very much that idealistic view of, here we are, this is our new, like, whatever, you know, it's very, I want to use the, like, idealistic of, and, it's very, like, almost like classic novel ending, everyone survives, everyone lives. And I think that's perfect. Ian calling in Hems was perfect when he found Harry's wife. Sorry, and it was very, very important for the storyline. Stevie's anger throughout the episode was brilliant to watch. It's a very tough episode to watch, obviously, because we're all really concerned about Charlie, but to still have the other stories going on throughout it is still very good. Sending Stevie with Hems was a brilliant use of past episodes, because, you know, Stevie's not been with she's been with Hems before, so we know she has the experience, so we know she's more than capable of doing it. But with all that's going on in the past few episodes, is she capable of it? And that was perfect. Jan talking to Teddy about Charlie was great, and then talking to Teddy about his own relationship. There's a lot of that, especially because we've had that disconnect between Teddy and Charlie recently. Sorry, Teddy and Jan recently. So I think having that reconnection was perfect. Oh, sorry. Jan talking about days like this was tough to hear, and the response from Teddy, it was tough to watch. Sorry. Oh. Especially when we consider the fact that he cried. We don't see male characters in any show like this cry. So I think that was well done. Stevie in Hems was great to watch, and the site surgery was a brilliant idea. It actually links back to an episode years and years and years ago now with Connie Beecham, who was in Stevie's current position of clinical lead at the time. Her daughter performed this surgery without any practice to try and save someone's life. She did it in like a barn or something because he choked, because he got like a lemon drop or something stuck in his throat. It was, anyway, it's a great way of just linking the things together, because people who watch it a long time go, oh right, I know what that is now, I've seen it before, you know. And obviously we know the dangers of something like that. The dangers of something like that is that your vocal cords, if you get it at the wrong place, if you say get it there instead of there, you know, like, you can't speak again. And that is why I thought it was an interesting idea, but brilliant nonetheless. Dylan trying to pull strings for Charlie was brilliant, especially when we consider the fact that he's been in the show for 38 years nearly. So it's 38 years this year. That is crazy. I don't know whether he's been actually in the show for 38 years, but it's 38 years since his first episode, and that in itself is unbelievable. Stevie panicking when she was out with Hems was brilliant, especially the way that she was calmed by Ian, especially when we can consider the fact that Ian had been a part of Hems for years before. Like, Ian has the experience with Hems, and he knows what he's talking about, and that was brilliant. Seeing young Charlie worry was brilliant. In fact, all the scenes with young Charlie were great, and some brilliant casting with that, especially in that scene. They've done like some stunning work with that, and I think that everyone who was involved in the young Charlie sections deserve a round of applause. Great casting. Honestly, I'd love to see a lot of those actors again, especially, I know she's getting on a bit now, I'd love to see the woman who played the Charlie's boss. I'd love to see her in things like Doctor Who, Death in Paradise, or something like that on BBC, because she's been on ITV for years and years and years. So to see her on BBC was brilliant. Young Charlie doing surgery in the middle of cubicles was really tough to watch and a little bit strange. Especially when we consider what we're used to. And considering we had a whole spin-off called Holby City that was set in the surgery. So this is very unusual to think about. And Stephen saying she's done was uncomfortable to hear and tough to watch. I mean, We don't think about things like this all the time, but it was really, really... It was a really tough thing to watch, this episode, especially when we consider it being Charlie's last episode from the get-go. Like, we knew it was Charlie's last episode from the minute we sat down. I'm sorry. But to have the knowledge of that made it all that more worse to watch. And I still enjoyed it though, which is good. Jan calling Teddy outstanding was lovely to hear. It was great to watch and some lovely scenes made. I mean, this whole episode is made up of great moments that put together and all sort of intertwine for us all to say goodbye to Teddy, and that's really what we want. Teddy admitting that he shouldn't have gone to the police was good. Something that was, if anything, a bit long overdue. I missed a little bit of Casualty for a while. Did anything ever come off about that? Because I swear... Oh, sorry, I swear he just, like, called the police and nothing happened. Like, nothing happened to her that I know of. But anyway, we'll see. Jan saying Teddy can stay with her was perfect. It was something that I loved and something I'd really, really, really like to see again. And something that will be heavily played into in the next chapter. Stevie jumping into action on Charlie was perfect, especially when we consider that she'd been very like, I don't know. As soon as she walked into to that moment, seeing Charlie's stats drop and she just jumped him, that was perfect. We needed that. The mirroring of Charlie with the patient in young Charlie's life was brilliant. I think it all just adds to make this episode feel like it's just all been stacked on top of each other. I mean, I'll get to it in more detail later, but the fact that Stevie was influenced to become a doctor off of Charlie makes this whole, like, show almost go full circle, and that is something that I love. I love it when shows do that. I'd love to see more happen to it. Yes, so here we go. It's right next here. So the girl returning Charlie his headphones was adorable. It's really cute, and it shows that Stevie's always had that instinct to be a doctor, and it was really always just in her blood. Like, I see someone hurting, I give them headphones, they now feel better. Becoming a doctor was just the next step. Obviously. Absolutely. Sorry, I'm watching Alex and Kovac. If you get that reference, let me know in the comments. The young girl being Stevie is brilliant, especially the inspiration to become a doctor coming from Charlie. I have said it already, but they're just linking everything back together, and that is something that we need more of, especially in shows like this. And even in, like, smaller shows like Doctor Who, well, not necessarily smaller, but in, like, bigger shows like Doctor Who, Stranger Things even, like, to have the influence come from a character that's already established, then to link it back, like in Stranger Things 4, where we learn that 11 caused the Upside Down. 11 was caused by a character that we learn about later on, but being from 11, if that makes sense. So, like, 11 causing 1 to become Vecna, who we learn about in season 4, but has caused everything since season 1, I think is really interesting to watch, and I loved it. Charlie handing in his resignation was tough to hear, but mirrors Stevie, and that is what I love. This mirroring of Charlie and Stevie's life through the young Charlie and Stevie is brilliant. If that means Stevie's going to stay around for a whole lot longer than I originally thought she was, then that's brilliant. Because if we consider that Stevie was originally intended to be a baddie, look how far she's come. Like, she was originally a bad person because of something that happened with Ethan years and years and years ago. And now here we are. Like, you know, these things have progressed. She's progressed, and that's what I love. Yeah, the speech from Charlie's old boss of "you didn't choose this job" was something I've seen a few times, not just in Casualty, but in like other programs. But that speech has been all over social media for the past few months. Sorry. Because obviously we knew it was Charlie's last episode, and I think I've reposted it on my Twitter page, which I'll link in the description. Feel free to follow. But yeah, that speech has been everywhere for a while, and it's something I saw coming. Charlie's boss retirement after 40 years is so similar to Charlie's retirement after 37 years. Like, he's like, I've had my time. And she's like, I've had my time. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And Charlie says the same thing. It's like all intertwined. And it's all like causing this big knot that's just going to grow. Because a show like this will just grow. Charlie's boss dying in work was tough to see, but it mirrors the fact that Charlie's seen people like Ethan. Not Ethan. Ethan's not died in the office, has he? Has he? No. But like people like I'm just trying to think. But like he's seen staff die in the hospital before. And to see that like track now, knowing that it happened before he came to Holby City, all the way through to the end, perfect. Harry's death was a lovely touch. It really does just mean now Charlie can enjoy his retirement. He has no loose ends. And the cameo from the old star of Casualty, who I couldn't tell you because I don't recognise him. Like, I recognise his face, but I wouldn't be able to tell you who he is in the story. But at least he was there, and to have a cameo was great. I just wish it was someone maybe like Connie, the set of like 4 or 5 nurses that left when Reader and Cam took over. Ethan, like the people who are still alive, who we have, who could have come back. Like, in my mind they were there, we just didn't see them, because it makes sense for them to be there. It's just a shame that they couldn't come back for it. Charlie admitting it's time for his retirement was something we long expected to happen. Like, I knew that Charlie was going to retire eventually, but I knew he was going to admit he was ready, and that is just what I needed. Charlie leaving after 37 years was great. With him walking out to the applause just adds to that situation. So 37 years does not equate to the 38 years of the show running, which makes sense because he was in the show from because he was in the show for 38 years, according to messages on Twitter from the official Casualty page, so I can have that. The speech in the pub was lovely. Again, I'm not trying to be better, it's just because I have no idea who he is. If I knew who he was, I'd probably feel a little bit better about it. But if that had come from Connie Beecham, Ethan, one of the old nurses, like was it Paige? I feel like that's wrong, but like, you know, it would just add it to it for me. The Volkswagen Beetle was a lovely gift, and the sign saying just retired was lovely. That's something I've seen over Twitter like in the past day. Like as soon as the episode finished, I feel like I saw that on Twitter within like a couple of hours. So you know, that was really funny for me. The credits not having the normal music was perfect. A great tribute to Charlie and his 37 years, and that is something we really need to think about now. I have to say I'm really, really glad that he didn't die. I'm really glad that they didn't go down that route, especially with someone who's been in the show almost since the beginning, and that is something that I really love. And finally, I would just like to let you know, next week there will be a double bill from 8:25 to 10:05, and the new chapter will be called Breaking Point, which I think is a horrid title for a chapter, but great for one episode. So I don't know how all that's going to link to Breaking Point. Obviously, a history of a history of violence was all very linked together, and you could tell that it was a history of violence because we've seen the violence, then we got the history. We've seen Charlie, we're getting his history of violence, we're getting her history of violence. Breaking Point feels more like an episode. I have reached Breaking Point, but this feels like we are going to push towards Breaking Point and someone's going to die at the end of it. I hope that's not what happens. I'm also now realising this is a slightly longer video than normal, so let's wrap up like I always do. If during this week's episode you saw something that made you feel uncomfortable or made you feel like you needed to talk to someone, please visit bbc.co.uk/actionline or call to hear recorded information whenever you like at 0600 0600 666 666, or if you're under the age of 18, you can call Childline at 0800 1111. And of course, I would just like to ask you my comment question of the day. Who do we think will replace Charlie? That's tough to hear, but who do we think will be Charlie's replacement? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, we'll be having a new series start next week because Beyond Paradise starts on Friday, so I'll be making notes on that on Friday. My notebook is starting to fill up nicely. There is like a blank page in there somewhere, but I'm happy with what we've got. And I will see you all next time. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the comments. Bye-bye.